Proper story is supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky. He gets up, sets off for the Bastion, where everyone agreed to go in case of trouble. Ground forms up under his feet as it pointing the way. He don't stop to wonder why. Finds his lifelong friend, just lying in the road. Well, it's a touching reunion. He sees what's left of the rippling walls. Years of work undone in an instant. In the calamity, that a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a gas fella, forced out from underground. Kid pops him good. Sometimes you just need a drink. Gotta hold her still to spin up the chamber. A school of squirts tunnels up around them. He sets foot inside one of Celandia's famous watering holes. Inside's old Rondi, the bartender. The calamity got him before his drinking did. Then Kid finds his trusty shield. The security takes him for a petty thief. Special delivery. Gas fellas. Windbags start turning up for last call. More squirts start coming out of the woodwork. A big old fella pops out in front of the kid. He gets a good look at things on his way down. He lands on top of a breaker's bow, and it ain't broke. Good news is the emergency defenses still work. Bad news is they're aiming for the kid. He finds the distillery, right next to the arsenal. Tough part of town. One sip of the spirits in that distillery, and the kid will feel like a new man. The arsenal's where the kid can pick the best tools for the job. An old ferry barge sends the kid on his way. The Bastion's real close now. Now the kid sees something stranger still. His mind races. Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds another. He finds me. And just like that, the Bastion comes alive. Starts growing again. Growing stronger. Kid's gotta put its power to good use. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild unknown. Kid ponders what to build. Kid don't know what's out there waiting for him. Now he lands at the intersection between bad and wrong. Ought to be a core down one of these twisted streets. But which one? And there it is. But it's locked down tight in an alloy cage. A blustery old foreman's keeping his fellas in check. And now there's a new marshal in town. He hears the whole place groan, but it's too tough to fall. He comes back, just like I knew he would. The core hums in his pack. The monument's calling for him. Kid does it again. Only fair he decides what we build next. Makes time to sample spirits from my personal supply. Where whiskey has no scent, but tastes like a pepper boot heel. It's not for everyone. In better days, the melting pot was sealed tighter than the skin on a squirt. Of all the plans to survive the calamity, it had to be stab weeds. He throws a switch. Now what could possibly go wrong? Quite a bit, as it turns out. The cage lifting from the core ever so slow. All Kid can do is wait. Shipments start falling in. Not every squirt's born bad. Some spring to the kid's defense. Judging by the movement of the cage, it's gonna take a little while. Scumbags don't take lightly to interlopers. Even some gas fellas take his corner. Birdie popped that mean old foreman. At this rate, maybe 5 more minutes. Maybe 30. Hard to tell. Squirts get real territorial around the core. Then a shipment of free samples shows up. It ain't all bad, as the kid finds some spices from the motherland, tax-free. One thing's for sure, that cage is awful heavy. Troublesome scene to be sure. A few moments left and the core goes free. 10, 9, 8, 7, give or take a few seconds. Finally, the core's within reach. And done. He's got it. Just gotta get to the nearest barge. I still remember the look on his face after that one. The old world's finished, but the new world's just getting started. Couples used to walk the sundown path. Kid ain't here for pleasure, though. But then, somebody gets to the core before the kid. A single panic squirt could bring the whole place down. Well, the path ain't exactly open to visitors. See, the path was intended for leisurely strolling and such. Sky bridges the path together. One of them bridges whips the kid along. But Calamity changed everything. Well, if we mastered the winds in the old days, we could do it again. Who else would have taken the core? Scumbag ate it by mistake. I know they used to ship live munitions down the path. Even gas fellas need some shut-eye from time to time. In all his toil, Kid keeps coming back to an overwhelming question. Who else could have survived the Calamity? So we didn't find a core that time, but that ain't about to stop us. The dead welcome him with open arms. The Calamity took everybody after all. Kid sees it plain, frozen faces all around. These folks never saw the Calamity coming. But someone did. Someone close. It was someone like him. It's a snag or two trying to get to him. He'll have to stop, no matter what. He's got so many questions, after all. The Thunder brothers didn't make it. But him, he survived. Just think, without that man, we wouldn't be here right now, would we? What do you say to a man who's seen too much? Kid hasn't a clue, but he says this. He's a proper gentleman, that man. His name is Zolf. No hiding he's an Ura. Folks like him ain't never been a common sight in Caelondia. He's relieved to see a living face or two. The kid and I introduce ourselves in kind. Both to him and to each other for the first time. The cores, they remember. That's why this place is coming together. That's why things are gonna be all right. Well, look what we have here. We tracked down a couple more cores near the edge of the city. There's only one way to Cinderbrick Fort. The hard way. Sure, the city marshals may be gone, but now the fort's crawling with windbags. The calamity was mercy. At least the marshals left the kid a parting gift. Something the windbags just can't handle. Something that'll punch clean through the greasy hides. Windbags ain't much different from normal folks. All they want's a warm place to stay and a decent meal. Well, the fort ain't theirs by right. Not a scratch on him as he presses on to higher ground. Kid's stash of grenades is there for him if things get even worse. Security's playing gone haywire. Windbags gummed up the works. They trapped the kid in the middle of the fort's parade grounds, and now ain't nothing left for nobody down at Cinderbrick Fort. Kid shows up just as Zolf's telling me about his own journey to the city. Zolf's travels ain't much compared to what the kids had to go through for all this. No use praying to the gods these days. No time for it either. Folks used to make pilgrimage here to pay their respects to Pith, the bull. Well, the gods are long gone now, and the orchard core is long gone too. In time, though, the bull stopped being a symbol and started being decoration. Pith makes a decent scarecrow at least. Must have been guarding that shrine. Popping windbags is hard enough. No need to get the gods involved. Well, if the gods are alive, they must be plenty sore. Kid ain't found a core, but at least he found Zolf's precious shrine. Now we can build a shrine of our own, though I got some alternatives in mind. The Langston River flowed free and wild till the calamity drank it all up. Maybe all that water just grew wings and flew off. Riverbanks swarming with windbags. They're so bent on finding the core they hardly notice the kid. Lucky for him, a certain famous ferry barge is still afloat. Maybe Nellie knows the way to the core. Maybe she could slip right past all the clamor on the coast. Or maybe not. The security skiff pulls up portside. Nellie's just another windbag to those guns. Just then, the windbags notice who she's sailing with. They're pretty steamed about what happened at Cinderbrick. Try to cut her off. try to knock her out. Well, Weepin' Nellie tries harder. Try as she might, though, she hits a snag. Kid's gotta help her get untangled. Favors for favors. At least she picked a good spot for a break, cause the core's right there. Then the kid hears an unusual sound, like 100 flapping wings. They had their own eyes on the core. Why? He finds Weepin' Nellie raring to go. Turns out she's got a special surprise for when the waters get rough. Travel things think they're king of the roost. The rest of us only wish we could fly in times like these. Security skiffs keep on coming, starboard side. Don't seem to care what they shoot, as long as they hit something. The windbags getting even better. Well, it all proves too much for poor Nellie. Just gotta make one last stop. With the last breath, Nellie gets the kid to solid ground. They want that core real bad. Might be they want it just as bad as a kid. Kid shoes them off, knowing they'll be back. Not even once. Now, listen close. You should remember this. Why go to Prosper Bluff? Used to take an enterprising man or a plain old fool to venture out that far. And that's why you go to Prosper Bluff, ain't it? There the kid hears something he ain't heard in a long while. How's it go again? That's the one.
One day that
We darn near celebrated when the kid got back, didn't we? Zolf never thought he'd see a fellow her again. We become fast friends. Calamity has that effect on people. But there was more to be done. There was one last core to find. Kid's surprised when I tell him there's only one core left. I shouldn't have believed it either. We tracked the final core beyond the city to the wilds. The wild unknown. Place can eat a man alive. Place is so raw, even the Calamity couldn't cook it. Not all of it. Beggars got the core, like they're building a bastion of their own. The welcoming committee scrambles to attention. Didn't expect a kid so soon. They shouldn't have let their guard down. Getting that core was one thing. Getting out's gonna be another. Then kid gets the feeling he's being watched. He digs his way out of the clearing, but the wilds won't let him go without a fight. And lunkheads ain't fond of two-legged animals. After all, he's got the final core. His journey's over, right? Well, no, it ain't. Kid knows something's up when we ain't there to give a warm welcome. See, Zolf and I were just wrapping up a heated discussion. Zolf can barely muster the words. The calamity failed, he says, but I will not. And with that, Zolf leaves us here, alone. Seems the only thing the calamity saved for Zolf banged up his monument pretty bad. But there's a way to put it back together. The shards. After Zolf's little episode, Kid sets off in search of shards. First stop, Jawson Bog. You'll get lost in that bog, I told the kid, and I won't be able to guide you back. Well, I let him go. What else could I do? What could any of us do? But the shards can make it better. They're like smaller doses of the core's medicine. Shame the only place to fill that prescription is out here in the wilds. This place is intoxicating. Don't know where he's gone. Might be gone for good for all I know. Wherever he is, somewhere I've never been. Somewhere I never want to go. The dead welcome him with open arms. Kid pops up. That a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a lonesome ghost of a gas fella. I'm Zolf, pleased to make your acquaintance. Sure enough, he finds beggars, lunkheads, wallflowers, pincushions, pineapples, swamp weeds, ankle gators. Kid sets foot inside one of Slandia's famous quadruples. It's a petty thief. Kid succeeds where the calamity failed. Would you look at what he did to poor old Rami, the bartender? It's so simple with this one. He sees what's left of the rippling walls. Years of work undone in an instant. He sees what's left of his lifelong friend. He wakes up. Just fooling. He sees what's left undone. Thought we'd lost him, but he finally comes to. The shard ain't lost either. Not anymore. Now to find a ticket out of this hole. You ever heard of a lung blossom? The breath of my thing, like a scumbag sprung a leak. Mother only knows what happened in the bog. Kid never much cared to speak of it. A shard is like a poor man's core, but beggars can't be choosers. That's it. A few more shards like that, and we'll be back in business. A single shard can breathe new life into this place. The shard's got enough juice to spruce up any of these places. Ankle gators used to roam the wilds, and they nested at Rothus Lagoon. Many a tale folks used to scare their children straight originated here. They used to think that ankle gators weren't extinct. Well, they ain't. Turns out Queen Anne got a hold of a shard. Ankle gators love shiny things. Rushers use their pikes to keep their distance around here. Now the kid can do the same. Queenie leads the kid into some kind of twisted trap. The closer you get to an ankle gator's lair, the thicker the tall grass grows. One bad step in that tall grass and he's Queen Anne's lunch. Wanna know how to find an ankle gator lair? You use a kid as bait. Now she's coming for him. She's got nowhere else to go. She's starting to get annoyed. Rest in peace, Queen Anne. That was for the brushers. Kid's done what needed to be done. Queen Anne's reign is over. We even got a crown jewel. All that trouble for a single shard. But you know what? It was worth it. Ain't saying much, but that's the greatest forge in all the city. Know how Caelondia became the richest city in the world? 2 words. Point Lemaine. If the wilds could ever be tamed, it was gonna happen right here. Whole place shudders in a fit. The grand rail of Point Lemaine. Not only is it still there, it still works. Of course, it's no longer shipping hides and alloys and spices, but it can give the kid a lift. The Army's triggers once had the place on lockdown, just as long as he can stay clear of the trouble on the tracks. Grand rails all grown over with things the Calamity chewed up and spat out. Things eager to take back their turf. Kid don't let so much as one of those things slip by. Of course, the Grand Rails see much more fighting in bygone times. It was right here that Zulf's forefathers decided to mix it up. Near on 50 years ago, first shots fired in the Caelondian War. Okay, so maybe we didn't get their sign-off on the whole Grand Rail thing. The rail must have shook the to the bone down in those dens of theirs. Well, the rail won't last much longer now that the kid took the shard. That was bad. It's still got one good run in store for it, though. All the rotten wood there on the rails turned into swamp weed central. Ever tried dancing side to side while holding your breath while choking on swamp weed while beggars trying to prick you in the eye? Well, let me tell you, it ain't fun. But then, at last, it's the end of the line. Should have seen him tiptoe around those swamp weeds in his way. Turns out he's got company up at the rail station, waiting for him. At first, he thinks it's Zulf. This is for you, says the man. Then wham! When the kid comes to, the man's long gone. But something else is there. Well, what's a kid to do? He took the shard, he took the hit, and he took that note. That note cuts straight to the heart of things, don't it? It ain't too late to unlock the potential of this place. The memorial may be finished, but our part is far from over. Not everything blew up in the calamity. Why, Colford Cauldron here blew up way ahead of its time. The cauldron boiled over some 300 years ago. They say it filled the skies with ash and the lakes with molten rock. So in a way, the beasts of the wilds, they're all survivors too. As for us, we learned an awful lot from Colford Cauldron. Sure, we dusted off a good many secrets out here, but we discovered other things we're better off not knowing. All sorts of awful things crawling underfoot. After all, when we looked down inside Colford Cauldron, we saw in there the heart of the world. The heart now laid bare by the calamity. As for the kid, he just has to get that shard out of there. Too bad taking that thing woke up every last stink eye from here to Charleston Bog. But where there's one stink eye, there's always more. The biggest stink eye he's ever seen's waiting for him on the other side. The cauldron's tenants all gather up to bid the kid a fond farewell. With a good spyglass, he comes back looking like the inside of a chimney. The shard works like a charm. You can hear the monument's heartbeat again. Just the occasion to crack open the distillery's private reserve. Can't rightly call Mount Zand a mountain anymore. There's no more mountains now. There's no place left for the beasts of the wild to go. The creatures of the wild, they've been building a bastion of their own. Best thing we can do for those beasts right now is put them down, quick and clean. Look at it this way. It's either them or us. But if we win, they win too. Our bastion is everybody's game. Not just ours. We just really need their shard. We'll all be better off once the bastion is complete. The monument's getting better. Zolf sure did a number on it, though. We need an awful big lost and found under the circumstances. Imagine everything you'd need to build a city like Zealandia. It takes hard work and planning, and it also takes Burstone Quarry. We bought the whole place from the Ura on the cheap. Not only are these rocks a source of life, they're recording everything, all the time, taking it all in. We found out the oldest ones remember things. Now why would the Ura sell off such a fascinating place? Might be the gods told them the quarry's bad news. Those rocks, all polished to a mirror sheen, the largest ones, we know as cores. Remember how I said rattletails ain't the worst thing in the quarry? We never could get stubborn old Lunky to leave the quarry alone. That honor goes to a beast we took to Colin, Sir Lunky. Massive things stomped many of our boys. We just couldn't get rid of him. Then the kid hears a voice calling from down the hall. Are you alright? It says. Kid hears him, but he ain't about to be deterred. If that's the way it is, he says, then I won't stop you, because my countrymen will. Say what you will about Zolf, but he's a man of his word. His countrymen don't much care for pleasantries. The Ura think they got him. They're wrong. No way out of this. Not without a fight. Zolf showed him the way here. The shards can put this disease in remission, but there's only one cure. We need to finish what we started. The arsenal's complete, and case we need protection. One last shard. It's all we need to put this mess behind us. And mother, what a mess it is. A mess like that could have only been made by hand. At the heart of the calamity was a simple idea. We never wanted to go to war again. Wanted to rule it out. Most of our efforts didn't therefore. It came from Ura, a brilliant young scientist named Ven. Ven worked for the Mancers, the sharpest knives in the city's drawer. With his help, the Mancers devised a way to seal the Ura tunnels shut. In a flash, just like that, every last Ura living in the Tazal terminals will be gone. But Ven didn't like being manipulated. He had plans of his own. He sabotaged the Mancers' new science project, set it to blow up in their faces. But remember, the Bastion can fix everything. We just need that shard. Too bad the Ura ain't exactly been willing to collaborate on that front. For now, Kid had little choice but to pick up where the calamity left off. First things first, though, there's someone we figured needed rescuing. Zia. The Ura fell back, no doubt planning the next move. But we knew ours already. There's something we had to do before going after that last shard. Well, now it's personal, ain't it? It's personal for him, and it's personal for me. They've got these conductors that are all what's keeping the place together. It's not the time to get reckless. They even sick their little rattletail bets on the kid. By now, every Ura from here to the terminals must know he's in town. The Ura keep hanging on to the barricade. After all, their homeland's not much farther. Yes, our people caused the calamity, but here we are trying to fix it. As the hour grows desperate, the Ura bring out their big guns. You had to see if everything Zulf wrote to you was true. Once the kid gets that last shard from Zulf, it'll all be over. I can't hear him at all anymore. He's too far away. But he'll be all right. The calamity hit the Tazal terminals hardest of all. You know why Zulf went back there. Zulf must be there all alone, just waiting. All his old friends and family were there. You know what's funny? Look around. There's not much left to do here at the Bastion, I'm afraid. So why not tell each other stories to pass the time, right? When the kid brings back that shard, the Bastion will be complete. Probably. But we're not gonna die. It's more like all of this will just stop. Things will go back to the way they used to be. This whole place is a living record of the times before the calamity. You be your old self again. Think of all those times that didn't go your way. You follow me? Everything you've ever done, you can do it over. And wouldn't that be grand? I guess there's nothing more to say. Who am I kidding? Look, There's something else. A confession. How come I know so much about the Bastion? Well, I designed the place. But that's beside the point. There's one problem with a place that sets things back to a bygone time. So you're probably wondering, if the calamity happened already, you can't test it. What's to stop it from happening again, after the Bastion does its thing? The answer is... I don't know. You're wondering if there ain't some other way out of this mess. It's all right. I can tell. But why would you even want another way? Unless you wanted to stay here with us. The weight of the calamity, it's on our shoulders. We can't just let it go. Bastion does have another function. Strictly speaking, if ever the monument blew out and we couldn't repair it, we could still evacuate. First, we'd round up as many folks as we could carry. Next, we'd detonate the cores, and we'd take off away from here. That way, all of us could leave the city together. You know Zolf and his countrymen won't be giving up that shard without a fight, don't you? Zolf and the Ura, all they want now is to see the Bastion fall. He can't have imagined the city would try to wipe the Ura out. Zolf ain't lost every shred of decency though, has he? He tried to warn you about his plans. He tried to warn you, kid. For Zolf, this ain't a personal matter. It ain't a simple matter of pride. One thing's for sure, the Ura can't be happy that the kid followed Zolf all the way home. Kid saved Zolf once, but I don't think he'd make the same mistake. I wouldn't. Don't you worry, though. Once the Bastion's restored, it'll all be all right. You ain't still thinking about that whole leaving the city thing, are you? Kid's probably dealt with Zolf by now. He reminds me of myself when I was his age. I ever tell you about those days? Hey, kid. Get up, kid. Come on, that ain't funny. I said get up. That's more like it. Now, set that shard into the monument there. Then we'll talk. The Bastion. It's finally finished. Now, there's something I want you to see. Welcome to the heart of the Bastion. I ain't one for long goodbyes, so here's the deal. Zia and I figure you done the heavy lifting, so you get to do the honors. We can tell you how to work this thing if you got any questions. Hey, kid. figured you'd had enough of me by now. You could have undone the calamity itself, but instead you want to stay in a world like this. I gotta admit, kid, I ain't yet put much thought in that idea of carrying on with you here. We can't go back no more, but I suppose we could go wherever we please. And if anyone's left out there, I sure would like to see the look on their faces when we dock this thing right on that doorstep. Getting ahead of myself, though. I'm gonna need a first mate. What do you say?